are the big environment groups. They are deliberately not engaging with the most important issue of all.
But this romantic vision that I always had of the ocean completely changed.
Mankind is not able to live on this planet with the Dead Sea.
I'm sure many of you have seen this documentary, but for those who haven't, let me provide a synopsis. Seespiricy sheds light on the perils our oceans now face, how our actions are wreaking havoc on these delicate ecosystems. And the ultimate culprit is humanity's desire to eat fish. This film eliminated everything that is wrong with the global food system. That the food we are eating is putting harmful toxins into the air we breathe and the water we drink. The nets we use to catch this food are breaking apart in the middle of the Pacific in such abundance that marine animals are eating plastic instead of natural food. Plain and simple, if we change the way we eat, we can solve the climate crisis and ensure all of humanity has ample food at all times. Don't believe me? Here are the facts. The agriculture industry contributes 26% to global greenhouse gas emissions. Over 80% of the Amazon rainforest deforestation has been the result of cattle production. And 50,000 acres of forest are cut down per day for agriculture. Half of the world's arable land and 70% of freshwater withdrawals are used for food production. In Canada, 1 in 8 households are food insecure. And fish consumption contributes to almost 50% of the plastic pollution in the oceans. And most alarmingly, if we don't change the way we eat, the world's oceans could be empty by 2050. We cannot continue on this path and expect that things will simply get better. And change is hard to promote, but it's even harder to implement. And yet here we are, a group of students with ambitions to change the way we eat and change the world forever. I'm not here to discuss how much we're messing up. Besides, no one likes an unhappy ending, especially one that ends with humanity eating Soylent Green due to ocean acidification, infertile croplands, and overpopulation. However, what if Soylent Green was the answer? And what if we've just been thinking about food completely wrong? We've got a solution. One that involves fighting climate change, fighting malnutrition, and global food inequity while appeasing the palates of even the most seasoned food critics. What is the solution? It's food made with algae. My name's Devin, and this is my co-founder, Alessandra.
Hi, I'm Alessandra.
We're co-founders of Algae, the first company in Canada creating great tasting, nutritious, and sustainable food products from algae. And this is the Enactus Queens team that has helped us turn this vision into a reality.
At Enactus Queens, we believe
impossible problems
Require micro solutions
like algae.
In mid-2019, Alessandra and I came across an article in Forbes that stated that algae was the food of the future. This was unbelievable, mostly because we had never heard of this stuff, and we were a little bit skeptical, because it seems every week an article comes out that hails a new food as the savior of humanity, usually from some remote corner of the world. But I'm happy to say that our skepticism about algae was soon put to rest. Algae, as we soon discovered, could be up to 70% protein by weight, was filled with omega-3 fatty acids, provided 8% of your daily iron per teaspoon, required no arable land to grow, had a 2-to-1 carbon capture ratio, allowed for up to 95% of the water used to be recycled, and could go from seed to plate in 8 hours flat. Seriously, people, algae-based foods can address SDG 2, zero hunger, 12, responsible consumption and production, 13, climate action, 14, life below water, and 15, life on land. With a list of credentials like that, we should be putting all of our resources towards this thing. There's one major problem: the taste. From the start, we've known that making algae taste great is the key to using this as a tool in the fight against climate change. So, we did what any good entrepreneurial individuals would do, and we decided to start with design thinking. We started by making everything and anything using algae. Things like ramen noodles, pasta products, tortilla chips, dips, sauces, crackers, you name it, and testing them at farmers markets in Kingston. What we found is that people loved the concept, but they weren't quite ready to commit to a full-on algae-based meal. What we did find out, however, was that people were interested in smaller products, more bite-sized, things like an energy bar. So we got back into the kitchen and we built an energy bar using spirulina algae. We tested over 50 versions of this early bar on more than 2,000 different people at school and community events, and at pitch competitions in Toronto, Seattle, and Copenhagen. People loved these bars, which gave us the confidence to become full-on algae-based connoisseurs, but part-time students. In April of 2020, we decided to launch an MVP version of the bar to validate whether consumers would purchase the product. We called this MVP version of the bar the Impact Bar, and people loved it. The unprocessed plant-based energy bar has 12 grams of protein, 30% of your daily iron, and fewer than 7 whole ingredients. And since April of 2020, we've sold over 4,000 versions of this MVP Impact Bar, bringing in over $15,000 in revenue. In the past year, we were a member of League of Innovators Labs Batch 5, received a Scotiabank Climate Action Project Accelerator grant, were one of only a handful of companies selected for the Platform Calgary Agri-Yield Accelerator Program, were an Enactus Student Entrepreneur finalist, won the McGill Dobson Cup Environmental Enterprise Track and received a $20,000 grant, and have been admitted into the York University Y-Space Food Accelerator Program for 2021. We also spent hours over the last year speaking at online events for youth, demonstrating that entrepreneurship is a viable career path. We've been busy, but would not have been able to do so without a strong team at Enactus Queens and our great team of advisors and mentors. This past year has been great. We've demonstrated that a couple of Queen's students with little knowledge of food can develop, test, produce, and sell a unique and innovative food product. But here's the thing, $15,000 in revenue in a year won't change the world, and it surely won't fund our livelihoods. Since August of 2020, we've been developing and testing 3 new flavors of the Impact Bar, all with fully recyclable packaging and all catered to our beachhead market of endurance athletes. Success moving forward will be defined by our ability to reach as many new consumers as possible and demonstrate that algae-based foods have a place in our diets. At the end of May, we will be releasing the Impact Bar in 2 flavors to retail stores in Western Canada. We have already secured major accounts with some of Canada's largest online and brick-and-mortar grocers. As a result, we are expected to be in 25 stores in central Alberta in June. By the end of July, we expect to have grown to a total of 75 store accounts, and in August we will be launching a 3rd flavor of the Impact Bar, which will help us hit 100 store accounts by the end of summer. In addition to retail accounts, we will be pushing our e-commerce store where Canadians from coast to coast can purchase the Impact Bar. In September, we will be expanding into Eastern BC and expect to be in Vancouver retail stores by January 2022. We expect to expand through Ontario and Quebec in the spring of 2022, and in total, by this point next year, we have the ambitious goal of securing 400 store accounts, which can include grocery stores, gyms, fitness studios, and sporting goods stores. Of course, we can't meet this growth and demand all on our own, so starting in September 2021, we will be working with distributors to ensure our growth targets are met. To support this growth, we've moved into a new facility that will allow us an output of 8,000 bars per day. We will be hiring 2 to 3 production assistants to help us produce the Impact Bars, and in addition, to support our ambitious growth plans, we have hired a full-time summer marketing intern who began working with us on May 3rd. Now let's take a look at the margins. The Impact Bars have a margin of 55%. With our expected distribution scale-up, we expect to reach $15,000 in revenue by July 2021. Our projected revenue for the next 12 months is $1 million, and projected revenue for the next 24 months is $3.2 million. To support these revenue projections, we will be spending all summer attending and sponsoring events across Western Canada, such as triathlon and bike races, where those within our target market can test out the Impact Bar. Now, due to COVID, we cannot sample in stores. However, these in-person events will allow us to begin getting the product into the hands of the right people. Now, I bet you're all wondering how a group of Enactus Queens students is going to tackle the climate problem using well-branded, delicious energy bars. Well, don't worry. We're getting to that. Algae has the potential to address SDGs 2, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And here's how. For SDG 2, algae is the most cost-effective protein option in existence. At under 2 cents per gram of protein, an average Canadian meets their daily protein requirements for just $1.15. This is absolutely huge, especially compared to beef, which costs 4 cents per gram of protein, and chicken, which costs 3 cents per gram of protein. And algae has so many additional nutritional benefits beyond simply the protein. SDG 12. The more people that consume algae-based products, the fewer unsustainable foods like meat and seafood are consumed. In the past year alone, we have indirectly influenced more than 10,000 people on the benefits of sustainable consumption through algae. Now for SDG 13, 14, and 15. For SDG 13, because algae has a 2-to-1 carbon capture ratio, and it is actively contributing to the removal of carbon from the atmosphere. For us, since April of 2020, the sale of our products has sequestered 82 kilograms of carbon dioxide. For SDG 14, because algae does not require arable land, no forests need to be torn down to support it. And for SDG 15, because algae has the same nutritional properties as seafood, fewer people need to consume seafood to sustain their omega-3 requirement. At Algae, we don't just see ourselves as a bar company. We see ourselves as a guide in transitioning the world to a more sustainable and nutritious way of eating. Our long-term ambitions include creating a wide array of algae-based food products that cater to a broader audience and make it easier for consumers to eat sustainably. On behalf of the Algae and Enactus Queens team, I am asking you to choose foods with an impact.